Question everything, for the truth should not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, yo, man, it's a lot going on with these Democratic Party, man, when it comes to how they using that pen is mightier than the sword. They using a lot of people that look like us to keep us in this economic destruction, man. We under economic warfare, that ugly word, war. And it's real, man. Racism is about economic growth and resources, man. And prejudice is about hatred for your skin and clothes and all the other crap. But we talking about resources right now and how racism is being manipulated to keep resources and economic growth from our people. Right now, as we speak, California is doing the most when it comes to helping these immigrants out. And when I say helping out, I'm talking about helping out in ways that we ain't never been helped out ever in this country, literally. And that's giving them loans for small businesses in our communities. Those are the words. In our community, set up shop to be able to separate themselves from our community by establishing themselves in a position where they can have their own cultural come up for their own people in our communities. Go figure. We not getting none of that. Not none of that, man. But yet still they telling us they got to study reparations. They getting grants right now to all these folks, but they don't even got to pay the money back. So they can open up small businesses to be able to set up small Savannah towns and so on for themselves. Not to mention you got already Chinatowns all in every country, every state and everything, and different wish people towns and you name it, man. The only people that don't got no town, no Negro town, no black towns is us. All ours been burnt down and destroyed. All our prominent communities and towns been wiped out by straight up brutality, hatred, massacres, you name it, KKK, violence, you name it. But yet they got all this money that they allocating for everybody else, especially the Democratic Party, and we can't get a dime. We can't get a dime for what's owed to us for crimes against humanity done to our people 100%. Nobody else in this country been dealt with the way we've been dealt with. And yet we can't get nothing. Every time it comes down to us trying to get an economic floor up, like Martin Luther King said and many others before him and after him, they always got some story to tell. They don't know where they're gonna get the money from. They don't know how to implement the process of putting out the money to all the Negroes of America. They always got some bull crap to keep us in the same boat. But see, that leads you somewhere. Because once you under everybody and everybody got an economic flow over you, guess what happens, guys? Then you become subject to everybody else trying to feed you. You become subject to everybody else trying to hire you. You become subject to everybody else controlling and manipulating and orchestrating your reality. Why? Because you can't move nothing. Because you don't own nothing. You don't control nothing. That's the walking and back into shackles, man. Walking and back into shackles. Remember, biblical history also tells you that everybody had their hand in our enslavement. All nations had their hand in our enslavement. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you see why they won't give you resources? Do you see why they won't give you economic growth? Do you see why they got money allocated for everyone else but you? This ain't some individual stuff. This is collective stuff. We're talking about as a collective, as nations around us. We being buried under lack of resources, lack of economic growth, lack of tangibles when it comes to finance. That's being done on purpose. And do you notice that all around you, there are more and more police doing whatever they want to you? More and more prisons and private prisons being created all around you? Well, we got plenty of leaders that are not taking the bag and selling us out, that's talking about it, that barely get any airtime, like Dr. Claude Anderson, who's been breaking down our economic situation for years, way before they opened the floodgates for immigrants to come into the country the way they've been letting them in right now. This is a reality, man, that we got to deal with, because at the end of the day, we under warfare that we ain't understanding. It's called that ugly word, war. Quiet wars is a must, man. That's what we under, man. It ain't all about the physical all the time. Sometimes it's just about how they swaying that pen, that ink, to keep you and I and our children in a boat that we can never ever get out of. And then they got these shills, these chucking and jiving brothers and sisters that look like us, that's willing to come and push the same agenda because they getting paid to do so, man. Getting paid to do so. And we steady trying to listen to all these so-called appointed representatives and go out and vote and do all these things. And they ain't listening to us from nowhere, man. They got their agenda. They got their bag. They got their movement on what they're doing. And that's keeping us crushed as a people. This won't be the first time. How you think they came over here? How do you think Columbus and all them came over here in the invasion? It was based off of what was happening coming in from the 1300s to the 1400s with our people. Yeah, we were set up back then and we being set up right now. Better go talk to the Moors. Some of them will still tell you some things. It's just real, man. It's happening, man. Same thing with us being the Aboriginal Eagles of America, the true American INs. They don't want to talk about that either. It's a lot going on. And I'm telling y'all, stop trusting these folks and start holding them to the truth. We owe trillions of dollars. We owe trillions of dollars. We owe big time acres of land. That's what we owe, our birthright. And we need to stand on that, because if we don't, at the end of the day, we're going to find ourselves begging and pleading for jobs and food and water to every other nation, because all other nations was giving a economic floor over us, giving us a stronghold over us in our own communities, to where we ain't even gonna have no communities no more. Right now, you already know it's the truth. Don't you go to most immigrant stores to buy stuff all throughout your community? You think that was done by accident? No, that's because you've been blackballed out of any opportunities when it comes to resources and economic growth, loans, grants, you name it, to be able to actually fund your own. And on turn, they did that after destroying all yours. No other nation here can say that they watched and survived massacres of their communities being wiped out, businesses being burnt down. That's us. That's us. And we ain't get a dime back. And all these so-called appointed leaders and all these talkers and all these religious union reps, they all know, dude. The key is y'all not talking about it. Y'all walking around talking about, I don't got nothing to complain about. I can't complain. Yes, the fuck you can. This got something to do with your children and generations to come. And if you don't say nothing now, then guess what? Ain't gonna be nothing for them later coming up. That's just what it is. We got to put our spine back on where it's at. Grab our cojones and come back up. Because at the end of the day, if we don't, who is, dude? We ain't the people that don't sit around and talk about it. We ain't the people that don't motherfucking complain about it. We ain't the people that don't go on a movement and make things happen. We that people. We make things happen. And it's time for us to make things happen. Or we going to find ourselves at the bottom of everybody with them wiping their foot on us. And eventually, guess what they're going to say? All they is criminals, degenerates, ratchet behavior. They don't produce nothing. They don't do nothing. They're lazy. Why don't let's just re-enslave them? They already on code. Why you think you sitting on the federal census of ethnic hate crimes as #1 on the list to be hated, and they won't give you a bill pass for protection? They already on code against you, man. And you can't see it. Why? Because you're too busy being entertained. You're being too busy being under the fear the fear mongers that's pushing all that bullcrap fear and all that distraction on you to keep you stuck. Well, you better come out of that stuckness, because if not, your generations, your babies, gonna look back one day and say you ain't do nothing to help them get out of the position that they in when we sitting in ghetto slums and hoods all around America. You too busy trying to do things individually. Oh, I'm all right in my only little individual reality. That don't make up a nation. They don't care about that. They playing nation. They playing race. And if you ain't gonna play that, guess what? You already done. You better come back to your people, start uniting again. Start putting your differences aside and start accepting the fact that we all in the same boat. We all dealing with the same problems. Because if we don't, guess what? That division gonna get us all crushed. And with that, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. But it is the question. You let me know. Peace, peace.